So now we should now proceed to sadhana. For this, you have to sit down in the pose of Siddhasana or Padmasana or Sukhasana or Vajrasana or Swastikasana. If you do not know those poses, you should look over to another pose. Suppose you could take the recourse to another pose like sitting on sofa or sitting on chair. That could also do. But these asanas, Siddhasana, Swastikasana, Padmasana, Sukhasana, Vajrasana, these are made for this. So these asanas are called dhyana asanas. Means the pose which is especially designed for meditation. So you should adopt any of these, and if you cannot do, then you could sit in any pose which is relaxing to you. So now, after sitting on this pose, suppose I am sitting in Padmasana pose, then I should meditate, means I should concentrate in such a way that my breathing system should be well perceived. Means if there is impression in our mind, that impression should be of breathing itself and no other impression, only the impression of breathing. So we have to focus on our breath itself. So when we focus to our breath, then this exhale and inhale and the pause, outside pause and inside pause, there are two pauses, outside and inside pause. When we exhale, then there is pause, and when we inhale, then also there is a pause. So when we exhale and inhale, there are two pauses, and all the dynamics of our breathing should be known. What does it mean? It means from here this breathing system is operating on, and through which nostril this exhale and inhale process is going on. And if it is coming from my left nostril, then which part of the left nostril is perceiving the flow of exhale and inhale. So when we exhale and inhale, we perceive that the flow of air is touching this portion or this portion or this portion or this portion. So all those portions are being touched by the air. So the air touch is perceived by our nostril, the polyp the hair and the tissues which are designed in such a way so that it could perceive the flow of air. So more you concentrate, even if the exhale and inhale is slow, it could perceive, you could feel the flow of exhale and inhale. So now you should focus on that, and when you are able to focus on exhale and inhale, then your second thing is that you should note the rhythm of that exhale and inhale, and the rhythm of the effect of that rhythm on our body. And then you should focus on the heat of exhale and inhale, and then the effect of exhale and inhale on our heartbeat, and then the relationship of heartbeat with the breathing system, exhale and inhale and pause. And after that, you have to focus on the thought process, how this breathing and the beating of heart is affecting on our thought process. And then you have to unite all these processes into a single process, into a single phenomenon. Thought process, heartbeat and breathing, and the effects of these things on our muscles, on our emotions and everything. And then you have to focus so deeply on those impressions, on the subjects previously perceived and the subject which is being perceived at present. So you have to focus on those things, on those subjects. Suppose you have the memory of a lovely touch. Suppose you have the memory of a good scenery. You have the memory of good musical notes. You have the memory of good taste. And you have to focus on those impressions. And then you have to focus on those subjects' wavelength, those subjects' impression. Those impressions are present in a waveform. Those impressions are present in our mind and in every part of our body, every part of the body. So firstly you have to focus on the memory, on the impressions, and those impressions, when you will focus, then they will come out. And if you focus deeply, then you will get another route, an alternative route to bypass those impressions, and those impressions will be left behind, will be left aside, and you will pass through another route. And that route is impressionless. So there are many ways. The first way is to counter the impressions. The second way is to cross over the impression and bypass the impressions. And another thing is to take another route which is not touched by impressions. And when you will focus, you will be able to discover these routes. And how these routes will come out? When you will be able to focus in such a way. Suppose you will sit, you have been able to sit for 3.5 hours. Then you will be able to note that the exhale and inhale process, which was going on previously from left nostril, is now going on in right nostril. And after some time, you will be able to know that exhale and inhale process is going on from both nostrils. And when it is proceeding from both nostrils and with equal length, then we have a nervous system in our body in such a way which is get enlightened, which is get aroused, and those impressions when get aroused, those impressions when bypassed by this arousal of nadi, this is called Susumna nadi. When you will be able to focus on this nadi, how we could know that Susumna nadi has been aroused? When exhale and inhale process proceed from both the nostrils with equal length, with equal heat, with equal frequency, with equal rhythm. And this is just a single breath. There is just a single breath. You have to focus on that single breath. And when you are able to focus on that single breath, only one breath will come out within 2.5 hours. And if you will be able to perceive that breath route, not breathe exactly, but that breath route, then Brahmanadi would be get perceived. That would follow the another route which is different from the impression route of our mind, of our consciousness. That route is different. So you should focus on that route, and you should exhale and inhale in such a manner that little movement, only the movement of breathing and heart beating and muscle beating should come out. You should not move here and there. So there should not be any voluntary movement by yourself. You should sit in a still position, and in that still position you should lower and lower the movement, the exhale and inhale. So exhale and inhale will become silent and silent and silent in such a manner that no outsider could perceive whether you are breathing or not. And after that, there will come a period when even you will not be able to perceive the breathing. So your breathing will become so slow, so silent, so deep that there is no movement, there is no extra movement, and your body becomes still, silent. Your body will become like a statue, and in that status you will be able to perceive Brahm Nadi, the arousal of Brahm Nadi, and that will take your consciousness to the highest level, super conscious level, and then beyond consciousness level, cosmic consciousness level, so ultra conscious level, which is also called nirvana or moksha. So this is the Chaturth pranayama. So you have to slow your breathing process, and slow and slow and slow, deep and deep and deep, silent and silent and silent, and you will be able to know that your breath will be lengthened. And if you measure the rate of exhale and inhale per minute, then you will be able to know that the counting, the general counting, a general person take 20 to 22 breath per minute, and you will now able to gradually reduce it to 1 breath per minute, then one and means in 90 seconds you will be able to breathe 1. So 1 breath should take 90 seconds, and in that case, when you will be able to breathe, in that case you will be able to go beyond greed, anger, and even pain. So the impression of pain is very deep. So you will be able to bypass the impression of pain by lowering your breathe rate to 1 breath per 90 seconds. And this is the Chaturth pranayama. And you have to become a statue-like. So a statue-like pose is what Chaturth pranayama is, when your breath is so deep. So this is the way. There is nothing very different system. Only you have to exhale and inhale naturally, and you have to lower, you have to reduce it naturally and not very eagerly. You have to allow yourself settle down very naturally. Do not try to hasten it, otherwise it will be counterproductive and you will start breathing very fastly. When you will be able to sit, you will be able to do for 15 or 20 minutes, then you will be able to know that your breath get reverse in a manner in which your breath become fast. So do not hasten it and do not overreact it. Keep yourself in a very natural and silent position and allow your breath to settle. So when you will allow it to settle down, and then slowly and slowly after exhale and inhale, up and down, up and down. So in this manner, up and down. So the second rhythm, second up and down will be shorter than the first up and down, and after that the third up and down will be shorter than the second one. In this way, gradually it will reduce and reduce and reduce, and a time will come when you will have no up and down. Your breath is constant, and that constant breath, which is very silent, very slow, you will be able to bypass all your emotions, all your memories, and all your physical limitations, and you will able to transcend the physical boundaries of your existence, and you will be able to perceive another dimension of this infinite existence, that is cosmic consciousness. This is what Chaturth pranayam is. This is very important pranayam because it leads to meditation and deep meditation and samadhi, which Patanjali ji has called samadhi. Samadhi means equanimity of our mind, and equanimity of our mind is only achieved when we will be able to make ourselves in such a manner that our breath becomes equanimous. Our breath attains equanimity, and then our mind attains equanimity. This is what Chaturth pranayam is. Om Hari.